Introduction. What is gypsum board? Gypsum board is a drywall, also known as wallboard, plasterboard, cardboard, plasterboard, sheetrock, or gypsum panel. Is a panel consisting of calcium sulfate dihydrate. Is one of the common ceiling materials, providing fire breaks, building interior walls, and lining walls, especially in modern buildings in civil engineering. Generally, with or without preservatives, gypsum board is extruded between thick sheets of baked paper and gypsum facer. Gypsum board plaster is combined with fiber. Typically, it is combined with paper or fiberglass. Often, a mixture of both materials can also be possible. In addition, with preservatives such as foaming agent, plasticizer, and other associated preservatives that can minimize water absorption, flammability, and mildew, gypsum board is also varied. The result was that the gypsum board was extremely resistant to burning, safe for the paper cover on a sheet of gypsum board and hard to burn if there is no very high temperature available. The gypsum board center is successfully inflammable, making it a perfect material for building fire breaks at home and even at work. History of gypsum board. United Kingdom's first plasterboard plant opened in Rochester, Kent in 1888. The second board was invented in 1894. The inventors were two graduates named Fred Kent and Augustine Richard of Rensselaer Polytechnics Institute. By layering plaster inside 4 layers of wool felt paper, the second board was made. The second board measurement sheet was around 3/16 of an inch with open end edges and 36 inches square. Gypsum board was developed in 1910 and 1930, beginning with the removal of two internal layers of felt paper in favor of paper-based faces and wrapped board edges. In 1910, the United States Gypsum Corporation paid for the second plaster board company. 7 years later, in 1917, sheetrock was introduced after that incident. The gypsum board had been further developed by providing installation efficiency and has become a measure of fire resistance. After that, the technology of air training has made boards less brittle and lighter. In addition, it is also advanced in joint treatment materials and systems. Gypsum last used to be an early plaster surfactant, a panel made of compressed gypsum plasterboard that was often punched or grooved with holes to ensure that the wet plaster was able to key through its surface was an alternative to metal lath or conventional wood. It was faced with paper saturated with gypsum crystals as it progressed, which fused with the added facing layer of plaster. In 1936, their gypsum last was labeled as rock last by United States Gypsum. In 2002, the European Commission levied a total of Euro 420 million in fines on the companies Lafarge, BPB, Knauf and Guy Proc Benelux, which had run a business cartel affecting Lafarge, BPB, Knauf and Guy Proc Benelux, which had run a business cartel affecting 80% of the buyers in France, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the Benelux countries. Last one is gypsum board features. There are four main features of gypsum board, which is composition, toxicity, fire resistant, and gypsum.
Very good day I bid to our subject lecturer Dr. Norazua and my fellow friends. I'm Marvin Sarunan and today I'm going to present about types of gypsum board and applications. Gypsum sheet shifts in all sorts, shapes and sizes depending on the action and the location of where it will be installed. And let's go. The first type of gypsum board is the regular size gypsum board. This sort of gypsum board is unremarkably white colored and on one side and brown on the other side. Common gypsum boards generally come in 4 times 8 feet boards and extending in 3/8 to 1 inch thickness. Moisture resistant gypsum board is also commonly called as green sheets. Dampness safe gypsum board as its green covering that creates it safe to dampness as covered to ordinary gypsum board. These sheets are broadly utilized in clothing rooms, kitchens and storm cellar dividers. Next up will be the plaster baseboard. Mortar baseboard or blue board drywall may be an extraordinary sort of board that's utilized for polish putting. It additionally highlights tall hydrogen monoxide and foam resistant qualities. Next up will be the improved moisture resistant gypsum board. For more corrected dampness safe include the green sheets. Purple gypsum sheets are the way to go. It has prevalent dampness and shape safe quality that's perfect to be utilized for dividers and ceiling applications. Next up will be the type X gypsum board. It's called the fire resistant drywall. South X gypsum board is the finest separate for a fabulous fire retardant building fabric. Since it's more defensive and as a nature of solidness, it is harder to cut shape. Last but not least will be the soundproof gypsum board. It's made from covered layers of wood strands, polymers and gypsum. Its prevalent soundproofing properties is perfect for music rooms for regalement rooms where uproarious sounds must be stifled efficiently. That's all from me, thank you. This is all for the type of gypsum board and applications. Next up, I'd like to invite my friend to explain more about the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, I am Mas Izatumira binti Mas Wirasta and I'm going to present manufacturing of gypsum board. There are 6 processes in manufacturing of gypsum board and we will go through one by one. The first process is blending the additives. The process starts by blending the additive with plaster of Paris. In order to help the paper facing adhere to the core, starch is added and paper pulp is added to increasing the core tensile strength. Water and asphalt is also added into plaster of Paris, which is asphalt is to moisture resistance in the final product. The second step is making the sandwich. After blending the additives, slurry will be poured on a layer paper. Then, paper will layer again the slurry. After that, it will pass to the roller system to compact the additive for proper thickness. Next process is finishing the edge. When the sheet hardens, the board will proceed to the conveyors to shape the edge. The shape of the edge will be various because it depends on the final use of the panel. Next process is cutting the panel. When the edge of gypsum board is shaped, the board will cut to slice with a standard panel size. The rejected board will get recycled. Next is the drying process. The board will be transferred to the drying oven, which also need to through a multi-stage dryer. Humidity and temperature of the oven will always needed in control. The final process is finished product. The final gypsum board will be inspected by the professional to estimate the quality of the gypsum board. The board will be bundled into 30 or 40 boards for shipment or to keep in the warehouse. Each board will be labeled with Universal Product Code UPC barcode for price and billing scanning. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Akmal bin Shahrul Kalam and my matrix number is AF200-100. I want to talk about product and the properties of gypsum board. In Western countries, especially in North American continent, gypsum wallboard is used as common indoor building materials. This standard installation of gypsum wallboard is applied whether the core consists of natural or synthetic gypsum. Gypsum wallboard, known as plaster-based wall finish with availability in a variety of standard sizes. The most common drywall is 4 feet wide by 8 feet high. The other name of gypsum wallboard, also known as by its proprietary names drywall and sheetrock, that are commonly found in any construction. The advantages of gypsum board is by its low cost of installation and finishing, fire resistance, eco-friendly, and availability. Okay, type of gypsum board. There are 6 types of gypsum board. The first one, regular gypsum board, used when no unique properties of other types of special gypsum board are not required. Type S gypsum board, mostly used for fire-rated assemblies. The core material of this board is made up of short glass fibers. Glass fibers can hold the calcined gypsum in place that act as a barrier. Type C gypsum board. Chemical formula property of type C is more fire resistant to type S, generally substituted with thicker one of type S because mostly type C board are thinner. Water resistant gypsum baking board, mostly used in locations that are exposed to the decent amount of moisture, as called a formulation of moisture resistant. Abuse resistant or impact resistant gypsum board provides greater resistance to indentation and penetration, mostly used in buildings that are exposed to rough usage. May be manufactured with heavier backing sheets and is core-strengthened by cellulose fibers. Mold resistant gypsum board manufactured to resist mold growth and moisture in gypsum boards. Combination of moisture resistant core and mold resistant boards to prevent the growth of mold spore. The desirable property of gypsum. Gypsum and gypsum products are so suitable for interior construction due to its desirable properties, which include balanced dimensional, can be reproduced, toughness, resistance to abrasion, biological safety, low cost material, compatible to the material conception, and easy to use.